And good afternoon, everyone. Dan Castricone here on WTBQ, 1110 AM, 93.5 FM, and as always, streaming live at WTBQ.com. Got a lot on my mind today. The song playing "Hold Your Head Up." I've been doing a lot of shaking my head, so we'll get to that right away. First thing though is a really nice man, a class act, a true gentleman. Robert Richie of Port Jervis passed away yesterday, and he was the chairman of the Port Jervis Republican Committee. And, I'm the chairman of the Tuxedo Committee. So, we had lots of interactions over the years. We agreed on some candidates, disagreed on others, but we're never disagreeable. And he was a class man, and he will be missed. Condolences to him and his family and his friends in Western Orange County and all throughout the county. So, United Monroe. You listened to the show, you know that I've spoken about them often. If it were not for a group of grassroots volunteers in the town of Monroe who put their lives, their effort, their money, their relationships into trying to take back their town from a corrupt voting bloc and the corrupt puppets that were placed on their town board. If it were not for these volunteers right now, there would be huge amounts of development going on in the town of Monroe. The annexation would have taken place, or quite possibly wouldn't have even needed to take place. The zoning in Monroe would have changed in order to allow that high density housing. If it were not for the people of United Monroe, the rest of Orange County right now would be footing the bill for a huge increase in sewer taxes and tax rates to pay for an overhaul of the Harriman plant. If it weren't for United Monroe, our taxes would be going to pay for road improvements and mitigations on flooding and runoff from the irresponsible development. We would be paying for increased social services. We would be paying, that bucolic ride that you take to get here to Warwick or throughout Orange County would be passing through a city right now. This is what United Monroe has accomplished in 4 years. These people are bigger than any candidate. The cause that they carry is bigger than any candidate. I was fortunate enough to earn their trust and carry their banner in the last election, where we received over 9,000 votes on a third-party line because we carried the message of those people, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their steadfastness, their work ethic is what garnered those votes. Now there is an attempt to steal that for the political gain of one person and that person's cohorts. I want to apologize to everyone listening to this radio show. I ran a campaign for Congress. I wanted to be your congressman. I wanted to take that effort, those ideals, those values of preserving what we have here, of fighting the corruption. I wanted to take that to Washington. When I announced my candidacy, Carl Brabenek, called and offered to endorse me. Now, he had won the last election, despite lots of shady nonsense during the election. I wanted to consolidate my base of support and include Western Orange County. He had made a couple of attempts at trying to move forward on some of the issues that were important to me. And I said on this radio show, if you don't let people come to you, then they won't. And I let him come to me. And I tried to let him come to the people of the district and the people of Monroe, the people that supported me. And I apologize again for allowing that. I went, and after he endorsed me in an effort to build that support, I went and endorsed him for this assembly seat. That was before John Allegro had announced, before there was any indication that anyone else would run. I am ashamed that I did that based on what has happened. The idea that he would take the name of United Monroe, stealthily run around the district and try to collect signatures in order to take that ballot line from the people who have shed the blood, the sweat, the tears over the last 4 years to establish what it was. I'm embarrassed. I rescind that endorsement. I will be having a meeting with the Tuxedo Republican Committee, at which point I will ask the members of the Tuxedo Republican Committee to rescind their endorsement. I will be contacting every Republican official that I can, every town chairman in this district, and asking them to rescind the endorsement. The idea that United Monroe is a game for folks, I'm on a radio. I can't say what I want to say, or the FCC will be here. But the idea that anybody would think that this is a game, that these people that have worked so hard to build a brand, to take back their town, to let it be known throughout Orange County that if you kowtow to the block vote, that there will be consequences. What has happened over the last 4 years has kept this county the way that it is. And now we've got the people in Curious Joel who have decided that they want to expand KJ into a town of North Monroe. This way they can live separately. And I got an email from a friend of mine in the legislature asking, he said, Dan, what does UM think about this? Because they're trying to frame the argument as separate would be better. Well, United Monroe has never been against Hasidic people. It's never been against Jewish people. It's against irresponsible development. It's against ruining the environment. It's against uncontrolled growth. If the keys to Monroe are handed over to KJ, be it through the annexation or through the creation of the town of North Monroe, what you're doing is you're handing over the keys to the development aspect of running a municipality. You're handing over the zoning. And all you wind up with is irresponsible growth, environmentally disastrous growth, economically disastrous growth, and at what to benefit to who? To a couple of wealthy landholders in that community, a couple of LLCs in that community who want to exploit a block vote of people who go along with what they're told and vote the way that they're told in order for people to make millions and millions of dollars. And the idea that a political candidate would mess with this is beyond the beyond. I'm embarrassed. And there were people that passed those petitions that I cannot believe understood what was going on here. Wandering through Warwick in orange shirts, telling people that this candidate is with United Monroe and you better sign this so we can beat back the Hasidics because they're coming and they're going to build here. This is the story that I'm getting. This is what I'm hearing from people that signed those petitions. That we've got, a bunch of YR, some folks from Albany, young Republicans coming down here thinking that they're doing the right thing for the party, and what they're doing is anathema. It makes me sick to my stomach. I want to take a break and catch my breath, and perhaps we'll have some people who are really involved with United Monroe give us a call. Folks, we'll be right back on WTBQ. And Dan Castricone back on WTBQ, 1110 AM, 93.5 FM, and streaming live at WTBQ.com. So over the last few months, I have been silent here on my radio show about the 98th Assembly District, because I had gotten out in front of this before John Allegro announced his candidacy, and I wanted to just sit back and let it play out, and let's see what happened. Well, I can no longer do that after this affront to everything that I've stood for and everything that United Monroe has stood for. My political career is not worth my silence. So should the backlash come, let it come. We've got some folks on the line. Let's see who's on there. Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
John Allegro here.
Hey, John. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dan. And I've known you for 4 years now. You have always done what you thought was the right thing, and you have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of and absolutely nothing to apologize for, because you were doing what you thought was the right thing. There was no way anybody could have predicted this, that Brabenec would stoop so low as to disenfranchise voters who are willing to come across the aisle and vote for a Republican and in a general election, and to absolutely try to confuse the issue and hijack and steal the political capital and goodwill of a group of hardworking people, hundreds of hardworking people. So I just want to say that to you right away, and I appreciate deeply your sentiments and what you're saying today.
Well, thank you, John. It's I've never been so embarrassed in my life that the old story, I was a snake when you picked me up. Well,
no, I don't.
The guy comes across a wounded rattlesnake, and the snake begs him to help him, and the guy helps the snake, and he brings it home, and he nurses it back to health, and then immediately upon regaining its health, the snake bites him. And the guy says, "I can't believe you did that to me." And the snake says, "Well, you knew what I was when you picked me up. And I should have known before I picked him up." So, John, I appreciate it. I will be out publicly campaigning for you through the Republican primary. I will write for you. I will post for you. And I will encourage everyone that I know to do the same, because this cannot stand. Hey, John, I know you got to come up with some money for a lawyer in order to defend what so many people have taken 4 years to build. So if someone wants to help you defend the United Monroe ballot line, how can they do that?
That's Allegro4assembly.com. It's ALLEGRO, then the number 4, assembly, ASSEMBLY.com. Allegro, number 4, Allegro4assembly.com. And there's a donate page. We put out a call to action last night, and in probably about 8 or 10 hours, we raised practically $1,500 toward the retainer that we have to pay to bring on legal counsel to really take back our good name and our goodwill. There's one thing I want to make 100% clear to everybody out there who's listening. Regardless of what happens with a name, an independent party name on a ballot, John Allegro will be on the ballot in November. Should we not take back the United Monroe name, and I'm 100% confident that we will, but in the event that we don't, I will be on the ballot. So over practically 2,200 people who signed petitions in good faith and in earnest over the past 5 weeks, your signature and all the work of all the volunteers has not gone for naught. This does not knock us off the independent ballot.
You know, John, and again, I'm ashamed that my signatures aren't on there.
It's okay.
You know, I tried to hold this, this situation, and shame on me. So, John, I wish you good luck. I've got a couple of more lines. I want to get Emily on the line too, because
Sure.
Emily is the chairwoman of United Monroe, as opposed to Johnny Come Lately on Facebook. So let's see who else is out there. Thanks for the call, John.
Enjoy. Bye.